I work in Google in a program called Launchpad, and we help entrepreneurs, and with all sorts of mentoring and access to experts in business aspects, in technical aspects, and actually we started caring about well, personal development also, because it's not just about technology or business, but also there's people driving those projects. So we started taking the best out of Google when it comes into building asking ourselves what builds great teams and leaders, and teaching that. We have a program called the Leaders Lab. And anyway, in that context, we met Elena when she was beginning, and we had amazing mentors asking exactly the same questions that she's asking you. So just to let you know that she seems to be amazing at what she does, and she got all the right questions in the right place. I'm very excited to see you in good hands. A little bit about myself. Here, Elena asked me to come and give you a talk about mindfulness and meditation, with the understanding that probably most of you don't care about mindfulness and meditation. So I was like, okay, well, let's share some stories and tell you a little bit about what's going on in my world, and if that is helpful and inspires you, then awesome. My first meditation experience was when I was 20, and I only went to this meditation place to stare at a wall in silence for like an hour just to impress this girl that I like, because she was an artist and a dancer and all these weird things, and I just wanted to be cool because that's what I thought it was cool. But then later on, it became incredibly useful as I grew older, and I went to started getting jobs and had to pay for my own rent, and I had all these sort of like pressures of performing well and doing a good job, and I sometimes you get a bit anxious, what people are going to think about me, or is this thing is going to turn out the way I want, and whatnot, and I discovered that then meditation wasn't just good for impressing my cool girlfriend, but it helped me kind of like have a cool mind, stay your mind, and make better decisions. So then, fast forward, I joined Google, and they have this mindfulness program called GPOS. Talking about the phones, we all in GPOS, we put this little sticker on our phones to remind ourselves that oh yeah, be mindful, just put it kind of like over there. And there's all these tech companies are beginning to get into the whole mindfulness space and teaching breathing techniques and yoga. And do you guys know why? Or are you aware that Google and Facebook and all these big tech companies are investing or becoming more interested in? Yes.
I guess some employees are too stressed, and there might sometimes be a problem about overworked people. So the companies might want to better the health of their employees, so that they are more productive, so that they are happier as well.
Yeah, beautiful. That's correct. And I went to a conference called the Mindful Leadership Summit. So companies from all around the world, and with the sports teams, local government, Google, LinkedIn, everybody's there, kind of like talking about how they can get people meditating more at work, because let's be honest, it's a bit hard just kind of like sit there in silence, and it's a bit boring for some. So anyway, and they talked a lot about the neuroscience behind it and the benefits for leaders. So it turns out that there's we were talking earlier about the likes and unlikes, and how people can be really mean to each other online. So there's this cool little piece of technology that it's beginning to resurface called empathy. So empathy is the ability to put yourself and relate to the other fellow human being, put yourself into the other person's shoes. Turns out to be like massively important, both in leadership, so the human aspect, and technology. So Google has a team called the Empathy Lab. So they're looking at how we can make technology more empathic, more humanized, machine learning and different things. And I thought that just that there's such a thing, it's very, very exciting. And also, there is a bunch of research now that shows Stanford and leadership institutes are learning now that empathy is a great quality for leaders, because your ability to relate to people, get them emotionally invested in what you guys are doing, gets everybody together working towards the same goal. So that also turns into very effective teams, and very effective teams produce amazing work, and amazing work makes money. So everybody's getting out into, for both human and business and technological reasons, empathy seems to be really good. So why am I talking about this? Because it turns out that an interesting way of developing empathy, and that's also for yourself, self-care and understanding and caring about others, can be developed through mindfulness, meditations, and any kind of practice that gets you sort of in the present moment, and it stops the worries about the past or the future and whatnot. Seems to help the brain get into that space. So there's all. I don't want to bore you about the neuroscience, but is anybody aware of the different sort of states of the brain or the wavelengths? Or have you ever heard of alpha waves? Yeah, who can a quick show of hands just to know who I'm talking about? No-ish. All right, so you, when you're normal, like now, and you're thinking about probably what I'm talking about, or maybe you're thinking about something else, who knows? Doesn't matter. You are your brain is in beta waves, right? It's like the day-to-day kind of like operational mode. But then when you're kind of like a bit more relaxed, and maybe about maybe going for a walk or making some painting or maybe meditating, taking a nap, your brain starts relaxing and goes into like a slower wavelength called alpha. And turns out that alpha, it's amazing. It's like taking your brain to the gym. It generates something called neuroplasticity. So your ability of your brain to learn new information, process new information. So they did a study, and they took people that meditate and people that don't meditate and compared them. And it turns out that the people that meditate after a few, say 10 minutes every day for 3 months or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but they saw that their sorry, I just wrote it down. I don't want to say this incorrectly. So their hippocampus, so the part of the brain that is in charge of learning, memory, regulating emotions, actually develops and grows and becomes stronger in meditators. Has anybody heard of the marshmallow experiment? Yeah?
Is that about children being put into like a room?
Yeah.
And with a marshmallow, and
Yeah.
say if you don't eat the marshmallow, 5 minutes later you get another one.
Yeah, exactly. That one.
Oh,
Has anybody seen it on TED maybe? So yeah, like I said, they tried this experiment with children about 4 years old, 4 or 5. Here's a marshmallow. If you wait 10 minutes and don't eat it, then you get another marshmallow, and you can have 2. If you eat it before 10 minutes, then you don't get nothing. So, some kids are kind of like straight away eat it, or some are kind of like suffering and smell it, put it back, lick it. And anyway, so then they run these studies, and they follow these kids in their lives. And turns out that those who didn't eat the marshmallow did much better in life than those who ate the marshmallow. Because they had the ability to delay gratification, instant gratification, right? Like trying to go for the instant like or whatever, that reward online that you guys were talking about just now. And those who were able to kind of like control and say, okay, well, I'll think about this for a moment before I just eat it, had that same approach to all sorts of things, to university, college, career, marriage and all that. And one of the advantages of kind of like mindfulness is that it also helps us make better decisions. So I'm the kind of kid that would have eaten the marshmallow in like the first second. But then for me, when I practice, it helps me on my day-to-day to kind of make better decisions. Maybe not getting annoyed at something that didn't happen my way or things like this. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up now because I wanna show you and share a couple of practices. So there are a couple of cool things that happen that we can almost like hack our brains through certain practices. For example, slow breathing can help our body and our system, our brain, to flush out cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. So too much stress hormone, you get anxious. You can actually even kind of like cancer, I think. And when you get rid of cortisol, you are not stressed anymore. And when you're not stressed, then you're creative. When you're creative, you find amazing solutions, and you can make kick-ass products, or just be nice to people in general. So, shall we try? This is a very simple technique to flush out cortisol if you ever get stressed or anything. So, sit up on the edge of your chair with your spine straight. Try to keep your feet on the ground or on the just find some kind of level of support. We're gonna inhale and count until 4 seconds. So inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 8 seconds. Slowly. I'm gonna count. Okay, so inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you're running out of breath, then just try to breathe slower and less air at the end, so you don't run out of breath. So continue. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And carry on. And stop the practice. And obviously it's better if you practice it for about 5 minutes, and you can play with the counts. You can do maybe, if you're really stressed, I like to breathe for longer, like try to breathe in 5 and exhale for 10. I'm going to show you a different technique actually. Let's do 3 breaths like this, just so you can get to experience. Inhale for 4, then hold for 8, and then exhale for 8. And just try how it feels. Just let's do it 3 breaths. So are you ready? Just to sit up straight again. So this one is just to reduce a bit of anxiety when things are a bit too stressful. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Slowly exhale. 6, 7, 8. And stop the practice. So what just happened to you, I'm not sure if you may notice, but you've actually, in this little practice, you've changed your brain chemistry. If you had some level of stress in your system through the molecule of cortisol, just by breathing slowly for a couple of minutes, literally scientifically proven, look it up somewhere. It helps. There are studies. So that's one. What else I thought about? This type of breathing, it's something that often is practiced as a way to getting into meditation. So to getting into this sort of alpha state that I was talking about, the one that has all the magic, the gym to your brain, the one that creates neuroplasticity and brings ideas and empathy. So you could actually simply just count the breathing for 10 minutes. Maybe you can close the eyes. And that's a very, very simple way in which early stage meditators practice. So we in Google actually, we have a drop-in meditation session. One of them I guide, some others, my other colleagues guide. And we do exactly that for about 20 minutes every day. We just sit down and focus on our breath. Now, there's one that is also very, very cool, and it also has to do with hacking your biology through the breath. It's not so much related to mindfulness, but actually it's a breath that it helps to activate your system. Has anybody heard of Wim Hof? The Iceman. So this, yeah? Okay, amazing. So Wim Hof has all sorts of world records for climbing the Kilimanjaro and going to the Everest in his boxer shorts, resisting super icy waters and whatnot. And he's been able to condition his biology through the breath. Basically, they studied this guy, and turns out that it's not him being special, but it's something that anybody here can learn. And you can alkalinize your body through the breath. So I'm not sure if you guys know what kind of like pH neutral or alkalinized means in chemistry. Raise of hands. I don't. I'm just repeating what I learned. Right? No. So yeah. So turns out that the guy who discovered cancer has this wonderful quote that says, "No disease can exist in an alkaline environment. Acidity is what creates the environment conducive to all these diseases that we can have. And cortisol, the stress hormone, makes your body acidic. So one way of sort of also alkalinize your body and be healthy and combat diseases is doing this rapid breath. So they call it the Wim Hof breath, but essentially it's a yogic breath called Bastrika, or fire breath. So basically, I'm going to show you, and then we're going to do it together. So it's a rapid inhalation and exhalation. So you burn quickly CO2. So you get oxygen in and oxygen and CO2 out very quickly. And because of it burns really quickly, you oxygenize the body, and then get rid of the CO2. And the result of that is like I said, alkalinizing the body. And we can just do it for, let's do, I don't want anybody to feel too dizzy or to pass out, because you have to be careful. You have to do it no more than maybe, let's do it 15 times, okay? So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do 5, and then we'll do it together. So, it's inhale, exhale, in, out, in, out, in, and stop. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Anybody feel dizzy? Yes, I feel dizzy. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna. Yeah. Let's try to free. The palms of your hands might start sweating. That's okay. Yeah. So who felt dizzy? Who felt dizzy? Okay, cool. That's okay. So 15 is enough. Anybody passed out? All right. So let's try again. So in, out, in. Breathing. Slowly breathe out. In. Exhale. One last breath in. Out. And breathe normally. Well done. Applause for speakers. So, okay, so this is actually not meditating. This actually is an activating breath. It will make you feel a bit more awake. But it also, I'm not sure if anybody feels maybe slightly calmer. Huh? Dizzy. Okay. Yeah, and then you go back to normal. So what it just happened to you is that you just basically burn out some CO2, have more oxygen in your system, and you alkalize your body a little bit. So Wim Hof says, do this like 30 rounds every day as a beginner, and then you build it up slowly, and it's really, really good for your health. So there are other breathing techniques that I love to share, and I'll send something to Elena breathing is it's connected to our nervous system, and it's a really nice backdoor to enter and hack and hijack whatever mental state you have. So slow breath to relax, rapid breath to activate, and alkalinize. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. If you have any questions, please fire away. Okay, thank you. That's everything for me.
Is it the carbon dioxide that's the alkali or the oxygen?
Second.
Which bit's the alkali?
Oh, sorry. So the alkalinization is in general the condition of having a sort of kind of like a pH neutral body environment, and you do it by burning the toxins, and you burn toxins through the rapid exchange of oxygen and CO2. Hey.
So that Windhorn guy,
Yes.
can he do that 24/7?
No. So you shouldn't do it. 24/7. No. So he does it as part of a bigger training called the Wim Hof method. It's online. It's scientifically proven. There's a cool little documentary if you look for Wim Hof documentary. WIMHOF. Yeah, like I said, you should do maybe maximum, like advanced practitioners do 30 reps times 4 every day, maximum. As a beginner, maybe you do 2 15 times or 3 15 times each. Yeah. Any more questions? Amazing.
Can you recommend any techniques when they're all really stressed before pitching on pitch day, on demo day? What can they do to sort of get into Zen and relax and just do it? You know what it's like when you pitch and you're all stressed?
Yeah. I was actually a bit anxious, to be honest, before sitting here. I was sitting at the back there, and I noticed, I'm sitting there, and also it's a nice thing that when you meditate, you notice a bit more. So if I have anxiety, I go to my phone and I start doing things, and I notice, I'm like, hey, why are you trying to get distracted? I was sitting there and I noticed kind of like my heart pounding, going like, oh, are they gonna like this talk? Would they care? Would they enjoy this crazy breathing exercise? And then I was kind of like, okay. And did my breathing techniques just there, nobody can notice. I look cool, I look normal, I'm like, I don't mind, but I'm really doing my breathing exercises. And it helped me calm down a little bit. So I highly recommend it. Holding the breath, if you're really stressed, will help you. If you're normal stressed, then just in 4, 8, in 4, out 8. It's all you need. Yeah, and maybe make a joke or laugh about it, because laughter helps you be relaxed as well. That's what I recommend. Yeah, I'll be happy to come for pitch day, and if anybody wants to do some breathing exercise before your pitch, then yeah, happy to help.
Amazing. Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.